Dan, the businessman. This was my real connection with Monkey. Always talking about sales, marketing, and business, letting in books and audio tapes on how to get better, and he worked at being great at business. Basically, the ultimate salesman, without being slimy. From his water pure and simple days with the new and Rob Atwell, to Bubbles Car Wash in Edmonton, and to the Associates, where we bugged him as being a loan shark. And then on to the Bank of Montreal and being the self-proclaimed super banker. My phone would ring. Just calling to let you know your mortgage rate's down to 1.3%. Only you and Uncle Dave have that rate. It's even better than the mortgage that I have on my house. It's almost like free money, you know. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that. Click. He was so successful at his job because he was focused on what he was best at, getting the deal done. Sometimes he had to be a little creative and applying a little bit of pressure on the bank's infrastructure to make the deal go through. But he also built a great team of people around him, doing the things that he felt he shouldn't focus on. And sometimes pushing those limits too. I'd stop by the bank and see Bobby, and she would say, "Look at my Dan pile." All of Dan's deals in a big pile on her desk. She would say it a little disgusting because she knew that Dan was out fishing, golfing, on some trip. But Monkey had a solution for that. It was called the Damn It Dan card. And this was a Starbucks card that he gave Bobby, and he would just load it up with money all the time. Monkey knew how the system worked. My phone would ring. "Big boy, you'd be proud of me." And then he told me how he would get a mortgage deal done that seemed impossible. I'd say, "Monk, it sounds like those loan sharking deals are still paying off for you." "No, Rob, that's my experience with high-risk loans." Yeah, whatever, Monkey. Dan, the principled man. Dan was a man of great principle and integrity. Integrity in that he knew a lot of confidential financial information about many of us, and he would never compromise that trust. He also had his own set of principles too. He hated getting ripped off. He would spend hours on the phone getting the cell phone bill corrected, to not letting someone steal his recycling. We would even go out for beers, and Monkey would keep all of his lucky bottle caps in his pocket, so that at the end of the night he could reconcile his bar tab. He just didn't want to get ripped off. And his response would always be, "Yeah, it's the principle of the thing." Dan, the romantic man. 7 years ago or so, I can remember Monkey telling me, "Hey, I met this chick at Safeway. She seems pretty cool." I'm like, "Awesome, Monkey. Keep me posted." Then one night, not too long later, I was downtown at a meeting, and I popped into Blend's Coffee on the corner of Douglas and Broughton Street. And as I was getting my bid for my coffee, I looked over, and this is guy and girl sitting in the front window. I said, "Monkey? Monkey? Monkey?" By the third time, he knew he was busted. Being his first date and all, and said, "Hey, Vic, what are you doing down here?" "Dan, I was going to ask you the same question." Whenever Dan talked about Michelle, it was always in this confident tone. "Yeah, she's perfect. She loves to go fishing, go boating, or even just hanging out playing video games." And they had this neat, unspoken communication, shooting looks back and forth at each other from across the room. But sometimes, Monkey was a bit of a chick too. Like going into great detail about how he proposed to Michelle, he was like a giddy little schoolgirl. I think that's why all of our wives loved him, because of Dan's sensitive side. Over the last couple of years, our relationship had become twofold. There was still the guy's relationship, but also we started having our double dates, where Cindy and I would go over for dinner, have some wine, and play on the Wii or play Rock Band. Or Dan and Michelle would come over our place, and the last time it was for dry ribs. And he would say, "Yeah, I'll bring the wine and I'm going to inspect to see how our project is coming along. You know, it's a write-off. Plus, we were fortunate enough to travel with Dan and Michelle together with Scott and Cole Thompson down to Phoenix last year for the NASCAR race. Dan made all the arrangements for accommodations for Cam's mom. When it came to putting the details together, he'd just say, I'll look after it. Because he wanted to remove any excuse for you to not join him. Typical salesman, removing the objections in advance. Dan, the not always so perfect man. His mother Barb's sense of pride went on hold a few times. Like the time that she came home, popped the garage door open, and hanging from the rafters was a deer. Barb immediately instructed him to remove it, so he moved it to the backyard. Once again, Barb asked him to remove it, this time from the property. And then there was the time that Uncle Dave and Auntie Deb asked Dan to house it. Well, the story involves a pizza delivery driver, a busted rat hose, and the Jeep Cherokee, and the police. But if I go into any more details, it may incriminate others who are present here today. None of us are perfect, but Dan was pretty close. And that leads me to my final story. Dan, and Perfect Day. My absolute most cherished memory of Monkey happened about 15 years ago. I had the day off from the funeral home, and I don't remember what Dan was working that time, but it was a gorgeous summer day here in Victoria. So we hatched the plan for the perfect day. We got up around 5 a.m., headed to Victoria Golf Club, not to golf, but to fish off the rocks. We had our coffees, our sunflower seeds, a few stogies, and some beers. By 7 a.m., the sun was beaming on us, and we had our shirts off, just enjoying the day. By the time noon came around, it was time to pack up and leave. And after putting in a 7-hour shift, most people would have thought that was a pretty good day. Not for Monkey. That was just part one. So we whipped over to Barb and Daryl's house, raided the fridge for lunch, dropped our fishing rods and grabbed our golf clubs and headed over to Cove Bay Golf Course to put in 18 holes there. And after doing that, it was time for part 3, chicken wings and beers. Now, we've had so many wing nights that I honestly can't tell you whether it was a Bird of Paradise or Fridays. But it would have included some of the other boys just swapping stories, enjoying life. The end to the perfect day. Many times since that day, my phone would ring. Hey, babe, I think we need another Big and Monkey Day. But it never happened. And as I was writing this eulogy, it occurred to me that that day wasn't a Big and Monkey Day. It was a Monkey Day. And I just was the lucky guest to be part of it, just like many others have experienced Monkey Days too. So, in the weeks and the months and the years ahead, take a Monkey Day. Put on your wristband, think of Dan. And just don't take the day off, but live it. Hang out with someone, make them feel special, and enjoy the beautiful world that we have around us. I wish I had more of them with Dan, because you never know when it's going to be too late. Dan, just a great man. We never really talked about religion or heaven that much. But for Monkey's sake, I just hope God isn't a white-tailed deer, a salmon, or But if heaven is a place where truly the good people go, I truly believe Monkey is a sure bet. The one thing that has me puzzled a bit, though, even a little bit worried, is since I think of heaven as a place where it's going to be very leisurely, you kind of get to do what you want. If that's the case, Dan might be a little bit disappointed, because that kind of describes his time here on Earth. Or maybe Dan, Monkey Man, Super Banker Williams, just maybe, it was your job to give each of us just a little taste of heaven. I love you, Monkey.